First Contact and Deception. The Galactic Federation vessel Eternal Dawn emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, its crystalline hull reflecting the distant sunlight. Admiral Vex Thor stood on the command deck, their four arms clasped behind their back, as they studied the holographic display of the third planet. "Analysis complete, Admiral," announced Science Officer Zinra, her bioluminescent patterns flickering with excitement. "The dominant species appears to have achieved basic spaceflight and global communications, but their energy generation remains primarily fossil-based. Technological assessment: pre-interstellar civilization." Vex Thor's compound eyes narrowed as they observed the primitive satellites orbiting the blue planet. The Federation had encountered countless emerging civilizations before, but something about this one felt different. Perhaps it was the speed at which they had progressed from their first radio signals to their current state. Barely 2 centuries, according to their historical scans. "Initiate first contact protocols," Vex Thor commanded. "But maintain full defensive screens. Young species can be unpredictable." Within hours, the humans had detected their presence. The Federation's universal translators decoded their primitive radio transmissions easily enough. Their response was surprisingly measured for such a young race. No panic, no religious hysteria, just a calm request for communication. The first meeting took place in a neutral location, the Humans' International Space Station. Vex Thor led the delegation personally, their environmental suit unnecessary but warned to avoid overwhelming the primitives with their true form. The human representatives, led by United Earth Ambassador Sarah Chen, greeted them with remarkable composure. "Welcome to Earth," Ambassador Chen said, extending her hand in what their cultural database identified as a greeting gesture. "We are honored to make first contact with galactic civilization." Vex Thor's translator rendered their response in the humans' primary diplomatic language. "The Galactic Federation extends greetings to Earth. We have been observing your development with great interest." The initial discussions were precisely what Vex Thor had expected from a pre-interstellar civilization: wide-eyed wonder at Federation technology, eager questions about faster-than-light travel, and careful diplomatic probing about technological exchange. The Federation's standard policy was clear: minimal interference, gradual introduction to galactic society over centuries to prevent cultural shock. But as the meetings continued over the following weeks, Vex Thor noticed subtle inconsistencies. The humans asked surprisingly sophisticated questions about quantum mechanics and dark energy manipulation. Their technological progress, while seemingly primitive, showed unusual efficiency in certain areas. And their space station, despite its crude appearance, contained engineering solutions that were elegantly innovative. "Your species has progressed remarkably quickly," Vex Thor commented during one session. "From first flight to space travel in less than a century, most species take 3 times as long." Ambassador Chen smiled diplomatically. "Necessity is the mother of invention, Admiral. When resources are limited, we learn to be creative." The Federation established a permanent embassy on Earth, and Vex Thor assigned their best xenoanthropologists to study human civilization. The reports they received were fascinating. Humans showed an almost contradictory mixture of technological development. Their medical technology was surprisingly advanced, yet they still burned fossil fuels. They had mastered nuclear fission, but hadn't yet developed reliable fusion power. Most intriguing was their military technology. Despite their apparent technological limitations, human weapons showed remarkable effectiveness and innovation. Their warships, while primitive by Federation standards, employed tactical doctrines that even Vex Thor's military analysts found impressive. "There's something we're missing," Vex Thor confided to Zinra 6 months into their observation mission. "Their development pattern doesn't match any known species profile." Zinra's patterns pulsed thoughtfully. "Perhaps they simply evolved differently, Admiral. Not all species follow the standard progression." But Vex Thor's instincts, honed over centuries of diplomatic service, told them there was more to the story. The humans were too comfortable with advanced concepts. too quick to grasp Federation technology too prepared for first contact. The truth, when it finally emerged, would shake the Federation to its foundations. But for now, Vexthor watched and waited, studying these fascinating primitives who seemed both less and more than they appeared. Meanwhile, deep beneath the surface of Mars, in a facility unknown to their alien visitors, humanity's true technological capabilities were about to change everything. The ancient discovery. Deep within the Valles Marineris on Mars, Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before a massive holographic display, her dark eyes reflecting the swirling galaxy map before her. The chamber, carved 2 kilometers beneath the Martian surface, hummed with power from fusion reactors that officially didn't exist. "Status report on Project Phoenix," she asked, addressing the assembled team of Earth's top scientists and military officials. General Marcus Zhang stepped forward, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic glow. "The Federation remains unaware of our true capabilities. Their embassy staff continues to marvel at our primitive space station, while our quantum arrays monitor their every move." Elena nodded, turning to face the chamber's central feature, a massive artifact suspended in a containment field. The object, nearly 100 meters long, was clearly of alien origin, its surface covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal. 15 years ago, this changed everything," Elena said, gesturing to the artifact. "A derelict vessel from a civilization far more advanced than even our current Federation visitors. We found it buried in the Kuiper Belt, its systems still partially active after millions of years. The artifact had been humanity's greatest secret and greatest blessing. Its discovery had accelerated human technology by centuries, if not millennia. While the world maintained a carefully crafted facade of early space-age development, beneath the surface, humanity had quietly mastered technologies that the Federation considered theoretical. The translation matrix has decoded another 15% of the vessel's database," reported Dr. James Chen, head of Sinolinguistics. "We now know why it was abandoned here at the edge of our solar system." Elena's expression darkened. "Tell them." The vessel was part of a refugee fleet, fleeing from something they called the Harvesters, a species or force that consumed entire civilizations. According to the logs, they seeded technology caches throughout the galaxy, hoping that younger races might find them and prepare. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had found their cache, but how many others were out there? And more importantly, were the Harvesters still active? "The Federation knows nothing about this threat," General Zhang noted. "Their historical records only go back a few million years. This vessel is older than their entire civilization." Elena walked around the artifact, her hand hovering over its shifting surface. "We've managed to replicate most of their key technologies: quantum computing, dark energy manipulation, consciousness transfer. We've even improved upon some of their designs. But we still don't understand everything." "The Federation's presence complicates things," said Security Director Patel, her voice tight with concern. "They're becoming suspicious of our inconsistencies. Admiral Vexthor, particularly. Their questions are becoming more pointed." Elena smiled grimly. "Perhaps it's time we allowed them to find some breadcrumbs. Carefully chosen ones, of course." The plan they devised was subtle. Small hints of advanced technology would be accidentally revealed during diplomatic meetings. Seemingly primitive human devices would demonstrate unexplainable efficiency. Questions about Federation technology would become increasingly sophisticated. Meanwhile, beneath the surface of Mars, humanity's true technological revolution continued. The artifact had taught them more than just advanced physics and engineering. It had shown them the true scale of the galaxy's dangers and the importance of preparation. In a sealed chamber adjacent to the artifact, Dr. Rodriguez's team was putting the finishing touches on humanity's masterpiece, a vessel that combined the best of human innovation with the ancient technology they'd discovered. They called it the Phoenix, and unlike the artifact, it was fully functional and ready for war. "Latest simulation results," announced Dr. Sarah Chen, Ambassador Chen's sister and the project's lead engineer. She projected a hologram showing the Phoenix's capabilities. The quantum drive is operating at 300% of Federation standard efficiency. Weapon systems are online, and the AI core has passed all consciousness tests. Elena studied the data with pride. The Phoenix represented humanity's greatest achievement, a warship that could outperform anything in the Federation fleet. But it was more than just a weapon. It was insurance against the darkness that the artifact had warned them about. Time estimate until completion, Elena asked. 2 weeks, Sarah replied. Just in time for the Federation's scheduled inspection of our Mars colony. Elena's eyes glinted. Perfect. I think it's time we showed our visitors what humanity is truly capable of. But first, we need to understand exactly what we're dealing with. She turned to Director Patel. Intensify surveillance on the Federation embassy. I want to know everything. Their communications, their technology, their true capabilities. If the harvesters are still out there, we need to know if the Federation is strong enough to be a real ally. As the meeting concluded, Elena remained in the chamber, studying the artifact. Its surface rippled as if responding to her presence, patterns shifting in endless, mesmerizing combinations. Somewhere out there in the dark between the stars, ancient horrors were stirring. Humanity had found its warning just in time, but would it be enough? The next few weeks would change everything. The Federation would learn that their primitive humans were anything but, and the galaxy would have to come to terms with a humanity that had leapfrogged centuries of technological development. But first, they had to survive the revelation. Hidden strength. Admiral Vexthor stood in their private quarters aboard the Eternal Dawn, multiple arms manipulating holographic displays of Earth's solar system. Something wasn't adding up, and it was driving them to distraction. Display anomaly analysis, they commanded. The ship's AI compiled months of observations, highlighting patterns that seemed insignificant individually but formed a troubling picture when combined. Earth's power consumption didn't match their visible technology. Their satellite network was too efficiently positioned, and their response times to space debris were suspiciously quick. But most concerning was Mars. Show thermal imaging of Mars Colony 1, Vexthor ordered. The hologram shifted, showing the humans' fledgling Mars base. The heat signatures were wrong, suggesting power usage far beyond what their visible infrastructure could support. Admiral, Zinra's voice came through the communication system. The humans have invited us to inspect their Mars colony. They're calling it a gesture of good faith. Vexthor's compound eyes flickered with interest. When? 2 standard cycles from now. Ambassador Chen specifically requested your presence. Meanwhile, in the depths of Mars, final preparations were underway. Dr. Rodriguez watched as technicians made last-minute adjustments to the Phoenix's quantum core. The massive ship, hidden in an underground hangar, hummed with barely contained power. All systems are green, Sarah Chen reported, her fingers dancing over holographic controls. The Federation's sensors won't detect anything unless we want them to. Elena nodded, but her attention was on a different display, one showing real-time analysis of deep space telemetry. We're picking up something at the edge of the system. Multiple signatures, moving fast. General Zhang stepped closer, studying the data. The harvesters. Too soon to tell, but they're not Federation ships. Elena turned to Sarah. How quickly can we bring the Phoenix online if needed? Minutes. We've been running combat drills for months. The crew is ready. The next 48 hours were a carefully choreographed dance. As the Federation delegation prepared for their Mars inspection, human officials worldwide maintained their facade of primitive but eager development. But beneath the surface, a vast military machine was humming to life. Hidden bases across the solar system went to silent alert. Quantum communication networks, invisible to Federation technology, carried encrypted orders. The Phoenix's crew took their stations, ready for any possibility. Admiral Vexthor's shuttle descended through the thin Martian atmosphere, accompanied by a small Federation security detail. Ambassador Chen greeted them at the colony's main airlock, her smile warm but her eyes calculating. "Welcome to Mars, Admiral," she said. "We're excited to show you our progress." The tour began innocuously enough. Vexthor observed their greenhouse operations, life support systems, and power generation, all deliberately primitive by Federation standards. But their sensors kept detecting odd energy fluctuations just at the edge of their instrument's capability. "Your colony seems remarkably stable for such a young operation," Vexthor commented, their translator conveying the subtle probe in their words. "We believe in thorough preparation," Chen replied smoothly. "Humanity has always excelled at adapting to harsh environments." They were halfway through the tour when Alina's worst fears were confirmed. The deep space signatures resolved themselves into clear images. Massive ships, their design unlike anything in Federation records, were accelerating toward the inner solar system. In her command center, Alina made a decision that would change the course of human history. "Initialize Protocol Omega," she ordered. "It's time to show our hand." Throughout Mars Colony 1, hidden panels began to slide away. Advanced technology, previously concealed behind holographic facades, hummed to life. Ambassador Chen's smile took on a different quality as she turned to face the stunned Admiral. "Admiral Vexthor," she said, "I believe it's time we had a more honest discussion about humanity's capabilities. But first, we need to address the fleet of unknown ships approaching our system." Vexthor's translator struggled to convey their mixture of shock, betrayal, and dawning understanding as previously hidden doors opened, revealing vast chambers filled with technology that rivaled or exceeded Federation standards. "What is this?" they demanded. "This," Chen said, gesturing to their surroundings as advanced holographic displays sprang to life, "is humanity's true face. And right now, Admiral, we need to discuss an alliance. Because those ships out there, they're what we've been preparing for all along." Deep beneath their feet, the Phoenix's quantum core pulsed with power, ready to reveal itself to a galaxy that had drastically underestimated humanity's potential. The revelation. The command center beneath Mars Colony 1 erupted into activity as holographic displays materialized around Admiral Vexthor and the Federation delegation. The primitive screens and controls they'd seen during their tour vanished, replaced by technology that made their own systems look antiquated. 15 years ago, Alina Rodriguez explained, stepping forward, "We found something in the outer solar system. Something that changed everything we thought we knew about the galaxy." With a gesture, she brought up a hologram of the artifact. Vexthor's compound eyes widened in recognition. "By the eternal stars," they whispered. "That's precursor technology." "Precursor?" Alina exchanged glances with Ambassador Chen. "We called them the Cedars. Their ship contained warnings about something called the Harvesters." Before Vexthor could respond, alarms blared throughout the facility. Sarah Chen's voice cut through the chaos. Multiple quantum ruptures detected, unknown vessels entering the inner system. Energy signatures matched the artifact's records. The holographic display shifted, showing dozens of massive ships emerging from fold space. Their design was organic and predatory, like metallic deep-sea creatures scaled up to impossible sizes. As they watched, the ships began methodically destroying the Federation's outer system monitoring posts. "Those energy readings," Zinra gasped, her bioluminescence paling. "They're beyond anything in our database." "But not beyond ours," Alina said grimly. "General Zhang, initiate Protocol Phoenix." The floor beneath them trembled. Massive hangar doors began opening in the Martian surface, revealing what lay beneath. Admiral Vexthor watched in stunned silence as a ship rose from the depths, a perfect fusion of precursor design and human innovation. "Welcome to the real Mars Colony 1, Ambassador Chen said, or as we prefer to call it, Phoenix Base. The Phoenix was beautiful and terrible to behold. Its hull rippled with quantum-phased armor, and its weapon systems hummed with power that made the Federation's best ships look like children's toys. But it wasn't alone. All across the solar system, Humanity's hidden infrastructure revealed itself. Bases on Mercury's dark side powered up their solar energy arrays. Jupiter's moons disgorged fleets of advanced warships. Saturn's rings shimmered as cloaked defense platforms came online. Impossible, Vexthor breathed. You've had this capability all along. Why maintain the deception? Because we needed to understand the galaxy first, Elena explained. The Seeder's warning was clear. The harvesters don't just destroy civilizations, they absorb their technology and knowledge. We needed to know who we could trust. On the tactical display, the harvester fleet continued its advance. Their ships moved with brutal efficiency, already adapting to the Federation's defensive strategies. They're broadcasting something, Sarah reported. Her expression darkened as she translated. They're claiming this system for processing. All sentient life is to be harvested. Elena turned to Admiral Vexthor. This is why we revealed ourselves now. The Federation's weapons won't be enough. We've run the simulations, but together, combining your experience with our technology, we might have a chance. Vexthor studied the tactical displays, their military training taking over. The humans' deception stung, but they couldn't deny the strategic brilliance of it. And now, facing an enemy that threatened both their civilizations, old grievances seemed petty. The Federation fleet in the sector can be here in 2 hours, they said. But you're right. Our weapons won't be effective against those energy signatures. We can help with that, Sarah said, bringing up schematics of a quantum weapon system. We've developed upgrades that can be quickly applied to Federation ships, a fusion of our technologies. As if to emphasize the urgency, a harvester energy beam lashed out, destroying a Federation outpost near Neptune. The beam's power was enough to split the moon it was built on in half. Time for decisions is over, Elena announced. Admiral, humanity formally requests an alliance with the Galactic Federation. Not as a primitive species seeking protection, but as equals offering aid against a common enemy. Vexthor's 4 arms moved in a complex gesture that the human systems translated as formal acceptance. The Federation accepts, with all rights and responsibilities thereof. They turned to the tactical display. Now show me what humanity can really do. The Phoenix rose higher, its quantum core pulsing with power. Around it, humanity's hidden fleet took formation. Ships that had been disguised as asteroids, satellites, and space debris revealed their true nature. Each vessel carried weapons and defenses that represented the pinnacle of human innovation, combined with precursor knowledge. All ships, battle stations, Elena commanded. The harvesters want to see what humanity is capable of. Let's show them. As the 2 fleets prepared for battle, Admiral Vexthor realized that the galaxy's balance of power had shifted forever. Humanity had hidden its strength not out of fear or deception, but out of wisdom. Now that strength would be tested against an enemy that threatened all sentient life. The final battle for the solar system was about to begin. United front. The void between Mars and Jupiter erupted with energy as humanity's hidden fleet engaged the harvesters. The Phoenix led the charge, its quantum-phased weapons cutting through space with devastating precision. Admiral Vexthor, now coordinating from a joint command center with Elena Rodriguez, watched in awe as human technology proved its worth. Federation fleet emerging from hyperspace, Sarah Chen announced. 30 capital ships with support craft. The Federation vessels, already receiving human technological upgrades via quantum transmission, took up flanking positions. The harvesters, faced with unexpected resistance, began adapting their tactics. Their ships shifted configuration, organic metal flowing like liquid as they optimized for combat. They're learning, Elena observed grimly. Just like the Seeders warned. Every moment we fight, they analyze and adapt. Then we don't give them time to adapt, Vexthor replied, their military experience combining with human tactical innovation. Your quantum weapons, combined with our battle doctrine, we can hit them from angles they've never encountered. The battle unfolded across the solar system. Harvester ships, immense and terrible, clashed with the combined human Federation fleet. Space itself seemed to warp and twist as advanced weapons discharged. The Phoenix, proving the culmination of human engineering and precursor technology, demonstrated capabilities that even the Harvesters couldn't match. Energy spike. Sarah's warning came just as the largest Harvester vessel opened what appeared to be a massive aperture in its hull. They're charging something big. All ships, evasive action, Elena commanded. But the Harvester weapon wasn't aimed at the fleet. It targeted Mars itself. The beam that erupted from the alien ship was like a strand of concentrated starlight. It struck the Martian surface with enough force to shake the planet to its core. But instead of the devastating damage the Harvesters clearly expected, something extraordinary happened. The quantum defense grid that humanity had secretly installed throughout Mars activated. The planet's entire surface seemed to ripple as layers of advanced shielding deflected the terrible energy. Now, Elena ordered, execute Protocol Omega. Throughout the solar system, humanity's most closely guarded weapons revealed themselves. The asteroid belt shimmered as thousands of quantum mines activated. Venus's thick atmosphere churned as hidden atmospheric processors converted it into a weapon. Even Mercury's solar collectors, previously disguised as simple research stations, powered up to full capacity. By the eternal void, Vexthor breathed, watching as humanity's full military might was finally unveiled. You turned the entire solar system into a fortress. The Cedars taught us to think big, Elena replied, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. Humanity took their knowledge and expanded on it. We didn't just prepare for a battle. We prepared for a war. The Harvesters, for the first time, showed signs of confusion. Their adaptive tactics had never encountered a defense so comprehensive, an enemy so thoroughly prepared. As their largest ship reeled from its failed attack on Mars, the combined fleet pressed their advantage. The Phoenix, its quantum core pulsing with power, executed a maneuver that should have been impossible. It phased through space itself, reappearing inside the Harvester formation. Its weapons fired in a precise pattern, targeting weaknesses that humanity's analysis of the Cedar artifact had revealed. Federation ships concentrate fire on these coordinates, Vexthor commanded, transmitting targeting data enhanced by human quantum computers. The coordinated assault was devastating, proving that the combination of Federation experience and human innovation was more powerful than either alone. The battle raged for hours, but the outcome was becoming clear. The Harvesters, for all their ability to adapt and absorb, couldn't match the depth of preparation humanity had undertaken. One by one, their ships were destroyed or forced to retreat. As the final Harvester vessel attempted to flee, Elena gave one last order: activate the quantum fold trap. The fleeing ship suddenly found itself caught in a web of artificial space-time, its attempt at escape thwarted by technology that even the Cedars hadn't developed. With precise coordination, the combined fleet delivered a final barrage that reduced the mighty vessel to scattered atoms. In the aftermath, as damage reports flowed in and recovery operations began, Admiral Vexthor turned to Elena. The Federation owes humanity an apology. We greatly underestimated you. Elena shook her head. No apology needed, Admiral. Our deception served its purpose. It gave us time to prepare, and it showed us that the Federation could be trusted. Now we can face whatever comes next together. The Phoenix, battle-scarred but triumphant, descended toward Mars. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden installations began the process of repair and renewal. The secret was out, but the revelation had come at the right time, proving that humanity's cautious approach had been wise. The Harvesters will return, Vexthor noted, their compound eyes reflecting the holographic display of the battlefield. Yes, Elena agreed, but next time, they'll face a united galaxy. Human ingenuity, Federation experience, and who knows what other allies we might find. The Cedars left their legacy to help us prepare. Now it's our turn to build on that legacy. As the command center staff continued their work, Elena's gaze drifted to a display showing Earth, peaceful, and blue against the black of space. Humanity had kept its secrets, built its strength, and revealed itself when the moment was right. They had proved themselves not just to the Federation, but to the galaxy at large. The Harvesters had thought they were attacking a primitive civilization. Instead, they had encountered humanity at its finest, innovative, prepared, and willing to stand with allies against any threat. As cleanup operations began and plans for stronger cooperation were drafted, one thing was clear: the galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. The end.